Welcome to LSC, it's Sports Time. I'm your host, Bob Hintz. Today I have with me Cantrese Pierce, who is a teacher over at Bethel High School, PE teacher, but that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about you running, because you're one of these young ladies that have impressed me as your athletic ability in running. But you started way back in, was it middle school?
In middle school, I started running track.
And who was the guy that worked with you?
Ron Baton was my coach at that time. His assistant was Doc Ritchie.
All right, now, did you know right away that, hey, I got a knack for running, or what brought you to them?
My PE teacher told me that I had done a good job in the shuttle run, so she encouraged me to go out for the track team. I heard some information come out when I was at Eaton Middle School that led me to Ron Baton, and so I started running.
Okay, and now with Ron Baton, you didn't run for any school team?
No school team for middle school.
Who'd you run with?
The name of the team was Peninsula Track Club at
Peninsula
the time.
Track Club.
Yes.
Okay, and right away you knew you were a sprinter, or did they try you at different things?
No. Looking back, I now realize I did a lot of running before they decided that I did the 200 and the 400 well. And then we started running a little more based on that. But in the beginning, we just ran.
Just ran?
We just ran.
Well, how many young ladies were running at that time with you?
There was a large group, but Ron did a good job of kind of taking the elite girls and pulling them out. So our base team was about 6 or 7 girls.
Okay, so did these young ladies go on into the high school and
Yes,
excel?
Yes, it was interesting because many of the girls came from different middle schools, but we were with Ron. So when I went to high school, I actually went to Phoebus, where the other girls went to Bethel. So I did 1 year at Phoebus.
Retha Montgomery.
With Retha Montgomery, Coach Montgomery.
Yeah, and and I've had done some interviews with her track club over there, and she's done right well with it. But when you went to Bethel, then you're back with your running mates.
Yes, it was hard to leave my Phoebus Phantom track team because I thought that was just going to be where I finished school. So when I left, it was a little sad, and they kind of told me, hey, you're going over there kind of thing. But they always took care of me. They always smiled at me from across the way. But I was glad to be able to go to Bethel, and they had 2 seniors graduate, so I slid right on in. And because I knew the other girls from middle school and from running with Ron, it was good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad transition at all.
The transition was real smooth then.
It was very smooth.
And who was coaching then?
At the time when I came to Bethel, Coach Cos was still there.
Right. And then Pat Kovast helped him a little bit. I know that she kind of worked at, she just do whatever needed to be done over there at Bethel. That's the way Pat was. Yes. And with Coach Cos, and then in '93, you got a real good track coach over there.
Yes, we met the great Eddie Williams.
The great Eddie Williams.
Yes.
Well, and I had him in here, and we talked in the years he's been in since '93, have 12 state championships. It's just it's hard to believe. Yes. But we're talking indoor and outdoor.
Yes.
And but you still have to have the athletes. You still got to score the points. So just because you're coaching doesn't mean you're going to have any championships.
That's true.
Talk a little bit about some of the especially the national records you got in the 4x4, and explain what a 4x4 is. Some people might not know what that is.
Okay. We actually won the indoor 4x4 100-meter relay, which indoors is 2 laps. It was a really great experience for us because track has given me the opportunity to travel so many different places. That meet was actually held in New York at the Armory, and I remember going there and just seeing how, I'd never seen that many track fans in one place. It was amazing to me. Each of us had to run 2 laps. It was just awesome. We had a great relay team that dominated from the start, and we just brought it home. It was excellent. I'll never forget it.
Well, let me ask you a little bit, because did you run on boards before? Because that's indoor track is a lot different, because Bethel didn't have an indoor track.
No, we didn't. And the only time we had ever run indoors was to go up to George Mason for the state meet, which is a flat track. So then you go up to the Armory, which now we have the bank and the, as you call them, the board. So it was very different. But once again, I hold testament to Eddie and his training. We used to have to run around the gym in Bethel, and we didn't understand what we were doing at the time. He would just give us tips on how to run it. But when you got to the big meet and you put it all together, you could see how that training in the gym prepared us for being on that track.
Right. So how does this Boo Williams Sportsplex, that's got to help, especially your indoor programs now?
Yes, it's wonderful. It is a blessing. I tell the kids all the time, you know, hey, district meet and state, district and regional meets for indoor track, as we call it, indoor track, was still held at Darling Stadium.
Right.
So we were in the cold, you know, so when sometimes they say, oh, it's so hot in here, I say, honey, just appreciate it. Because I remember running with hats and scarves and things on because all of our training was outside as well as our meets.
Right. Now, you won 3 state championships while you were at Bethel.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
It was absolutely wonderful. It was so wonderful because we were with the same girls. We were a small group. There were 6, 7 of us at the most. So we all did the relays together. We all had specialty events that we ran individually, and everyone knew that, because Eddie would put it on the board before the meet. This is what we need. You got to win this. You got to win that. And he had it down to a science where the points were. And so we knew in the back of our mind that everyone had to do their job. So it was just great to know that I could count on my teammates to do what they had to do so that we could be successful.
Well, you know, and I had talked to Coach Kyles about this when I was with him, that you know, okay, this
Yes.
is the number of points that we need
Yes.
to beat this team or to get up on the front.
Yes.
And it's amazing that he had it right. He knew.
Yes, and you had a meeting before the track meet, so you knew, and everyone knew, and you know, we were all calculating, wait a minute, she didn't win first, so we got to take away 2 points. I mean, all the time. But it was so funny because he always said the meet's going to come down to my relay. You have to win my relay. Like, you have to win it. But it always came down, and even if we hadn't done what we had to do in other places, we'd win. And at the end, he'd say, yeah, I knew that. Because he always had a little pad built in.
Right, right. And, you know, and that's what a coach does.
Yes,
he
excellent.
looks for the unexpected and prepares for it. Then you graduate and you
Yes.
recruited heavily. A lot of schools.
Yes.
A lot of schools. And you was going to go to Minnesota.
I was set on Minnesota.
Well, what about Minnesota was attracting you there at that time? Their program?
No, I just wanted to move away.
Well, I can understand it.
Yeah.
You just wanted to get away.
I wanted to get away and try something different.
Right.
I was born and raised here. My whole family was here, and I kind of wanted to go somewhere different.
But you didn't do that.
I did not.
You went to HU instead.
I did.
And tell me about that experience.
It was a wonderful experience. I ran under Coach Lenore Armstrong, which she was very helpful to me. She had a good relationship with Ms. Kovas, who was, although Eddie had taken over the program, she was still very heavily involved in track and field.
Right.
So it was very good. It was a smooth transition, and I'm so grateful that I made that decision at this point.
Okay, but you got somebody kind of special over there, the track coach now with HU.
Yes, my husband is currently the women's head track and field coach at Hampton University.
And does he ask you to look at some of these other ladies that are running track and other schools to, you know, maybe there's somebody who would fit in my program?
He'll ask me, well, what do you think about so-and-so, or have you
Right.
seen this person run? And I'm always honest with him. I laugh at him, though, because I tell him, hey, you got to recruit me yourself. I can't do your job. And he laughs back. But he likes to recruit locally, so it helps out a lot for me.
Well, and you can see these young ladies that are different
Yes.
than what he sees them too. So I can see why he'd want some of your expertise. After all, you do run track.
Yes.
Now you graduate. And before you graduate, what did you do at HU? What was your still?
I was lucky enough to let that 200 go. I was mainly a 400-meter runner,
Okay.
and also the 4x400 meter relay.
Right.
Every once in a while, if they needed a leg on the 4x1, I would step in. But my primary event was the 400.
And how did you do?
I did well. I'm very proud. My husband tells me I still have a record on the books. I've never looked over there, but I do have some type of record still there
Right.
at HU.
And you graduate, and I had a good friend over at Bethel High School, and you took her place.
Yes, I graduated.
13 years ago. It's amazing to me that you've been at Bethel for 13 years.
Yes, I have. And we talk about it all the time with the team of people I teach with, the other physical education teachers, that we've all been there together for that long. So it was nice.
All right, and now you got 2 aspiring little track girls coming up?
Yes, I do. I have one that looks like she's going to be a hurdler. Everything that's in her way, she jumps over, and I cringe every time. But they're true daddy's girls, and they like to go to practice, whether it's with at Bethel with me or at Hampton University with him.
Okay. All right, now I'm going to let you we're going to kind of wrap this up, but if you could be able to sit down with some young ladies that are just in middle school, what would be your message to them that what track could do for you in the future?
My message would be to the young ladies first, that track and field does a lot to help you stay focused in school. You have to have the grades to be eligible. You have to have the determination, the time management to make it happen, because it takes a lot of hours. Every weekend you're gone, you're practicing late at school, so it's a great commitment. So you have to be good with your time management, and I think that's very important for our young ladies. Additionally, I say that track and field gave me my first experience of flying. I had never been on an airplane until I flew to California.
Wow.
For a national track meet for when I was in middle school, actually. And it was, once again, a great experience. I actually can say I slept in the LAX airport. That was a little terrifying. But it gave me an opportunity to go places that I wouldn't have been able to go. It gave me an opportunity to meet people. I have lots of different friends. The girls that I ran track with in high school, one was in my wedding. We're still very close, and it's just a wonderful thing to do. Just get yourself an opportunity. Don't go home after school. I tell my students all the time, when the bell rings, I need you to find something in that school to do. I don't care what it is. Do something, become involved, and it helps with your school spirit, your school pride, and it's just wonderful. A wonderful way to meet new friends.
Just broadens your horizons.
It does. I love it.
Very good. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to LSC and Sports Time. I want to thank my special guest, Cantrese Pace Pierce. I'm your host, Bob Hintz. Till next time.